while I am waiting for my adhesive to set on my dentures and dry so I can put them back in, I thought that I would do a video and talk about tales from the road, traveling as a denture wearer. Some things come up as a denture wearer that you don't think about if you don't wear dentures. They're sometimes the tiniest things. I travel quite a bit and I stay in hotels. I'm in one right now, and I have passed on hotel rooms because the bathroom sink was not big enough. I need to have enough space to put my dentures, to put my stuff, mostly to put my dentures. So this is what the bathroom sink looks like at the hotel that I am currently staying at. And this is very important to me because I need to have space. I need to have enough space that I'm not worrying about my dentures possibly falling off on the side. That's very important to me. So if I had a sink that was just, say, this, I would not get that room. I will check the, sorry about that, I will check the photos of the hotel and see what kind of sink. If it's just the sink and there's no counter, if it's just a basin, I will not, I'll pass on it. It could be the most inexpensive room that's available, extremely reasonable, great location, but the sink will be a deal breaker because I need to have space to set my dentures. Not so much the rest of my stuff. I could work on that, but I need to have a place to put my dentures. When I'm cleaning them, when I have my adhesive, when I'm doing all of that, I need to have a place to put them and know that they are safe. So I will pass on a small sink. I've had other things that have come up, camping as a denture wearer. When you camp, and I did not think about this, I went rustic camping about a year after I started wearing dentures. Had everything ready, got everything packed, got to where we needed to be, and then I remembered, oh, what am I supposed to do now? I had not thought about the next step. It was rustic camping. There was no bathroom. There was an outhouse. That was it. That's all I had. So I had to make do and modify things, and I figured it out, but initially it was kind of like a small panic because I hadn't thought about that step. What I ended up doing was I took bottled water, I heated it up on the little propane stove that we had, or I don't remember what it was, whatever stove we had, and I heated it up, added more bottled water to it, cooler water, and hold on one second, I'm gonna put my teeth in, I will be right back. All right, I'm back. So I added the cool water to the hot water so that I was able to soak my dentures in the warm water and also use that water to rinse my mouth and remove the adhesive from my mouth. But I had to figure that out. I had to kind of modify a little bit. The one thing I like about the Dr. B ultrasonic cleaner is that it has the ability to use a battery. So you can travel with that, do something like rustic camping, and you would just have to warm up some water and put it in the ultrasonic cleaner, but you can use the battery feature instead of having to plug it in. But it does have a USB, so you could plug it into your car if you needed to, into the cord, and do all of that if you had to, but you could also use the battery. That's the really cool thing about the Dr. B ultrasonic cleaner. I have not camped with that yet. I don't do rustic camping anymore because it was a little bit challenging to camp without having all of the luxuries of home or a hotel. So after maybe a year or two, it just kind of ended up that we just stopped camping like that because it was a lot of work. But for some people, it's not that much effort, and it's something that can be worked around. It just was not, something I could work around. It was just a lot of work. Other things, let's see, well, impromptu trips, just deciding spur of the moment, hey, you know, we took a drive an hour and a half away, let's stay overnight and kind of just chill where we are and enjoy the sights and do that. Sometimes not as easy as it sounds because then you have to buy all of your denture products, and sometimes you can't find all of your denture products. You might be in a very remote location and you can't find your adhesive, or you can't find whatever you use to soak your dentures in. For me, I use Dr. B and I use the Oak cleaner, so if I didn't have those things with me, traveling would be a little bit challenging. I mean, I could figure it out if I could find a drugstore, but you'd have to buy all of the things. And if you're only going to use it one time, that's a lot of money to spend to use one thing, or to use one time. So what I do is I keep a travel kit in my car. Well, I keep it in my purse, but if I know that I'm going to be reducing my purse to a smaller size, I could just put it in the car. But I keep a travel kit, and in the travel kit I have my denture brush, my mouth brush, my tongue brush, adhesive, my silicone stir stick for spreading my adhesive, denture paste, O cleaner, the little travel packs that they have. But I have the things that I need in that travel pack so that if I decide that I want to stay overnight somewhere, say we go hang out with friends, we have a little bit to drink, we just decide to spend the night, I have all of my denture stuff with me. I don't have to worry about it. So that's another thing that you have to think about. You're just kind of deciding spur of the moment to travel. Can you buy all of your denture stuff that you need, or should you pack a little travel kit? I would vote for a little travel kit, just so that you have all of your essentials. I just use a little makeup bag, just a little makeup bag, and I put everything in that. Flying as a denture wearer, had a couple of moments with flying. Now, I've been wearing dentures for 16 years, so back when I started wearing dentures, it wasn't really an option that was offered quite readily, which was the family bathroom. That wasn't something that you saw a lot of when I first started wearing dentures 16 years ago, but now it is. And I haven't had any layovers recently, but if I did, I realized not too long ago that using the family bathroom is a great option. You might take a little bit of time in the family bathroom, but you have a sink, a counter, space. You could take your dentures out, brush them really quick, clean your mouth, do everything that you need to do, put your adhesive back on your dentures, put them back in, and you don't have to do that in public with people coming in and out of the bathroom and doing all of that. You can just go into the family bathroom and do that. You have to kind of speed it up because you don't want to take up the bathroom for 20 minutes or anything, because there are other families that are going to need that bathroom. But if you could do it as quickly as possible, say in 5 minutes, then you could just kind of pop in, take your dentures out, clean your mouth, clean your dentures, put your adhesive on, put them all back in. You'd be great. I could not do that because it takes me a little bit longer to do my adhesive. But I could go into the family bathroom and at least brush my dentures with them still in, because I use the Dr. B Clean and Dent Paste, which is a dental prosthetic and mouth paste. So I could go in there and brush my dentures, which you could do. Even if you don't take your dentures out, you could still go into the family bathroom at an airport and brush your dentures and brush your mouth and do all the things that you needed to do. So let's see what else. Delays. Well, no, that's covered under airport. Sorry, it's been a long day. Let's see. I have had really long layovers. I one time had a layover in Miami that was from I want to say 7 o'clock at night until 6 o'clock in the morning. And there were no options for doing my dentures or anything. So I paid a pretty hefty chunk of money to get a hotel room. Miami has a hotel that's in the airport. And I got a hotel room just so that I could kind of take a little nap and do my dentures. I paid a lot of money just so that I would be able to take my dentures out, clean them, and do all the things that I needed to do, because I knew that I was going to be very busy the next day. My flight was going to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was not going to get to where I needed to be until 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And it just was not feasible for me to wait that long. So I rented a hotel room so that I could do my dentures. That was, oh gosh, I don't know what year was that. Was 2015? I want to say it was 2015. Also, as a denture wearer, taking a Greyhound bus across the country might not be a very good idea, because you're not going to stop anywhere that you're going to be able to do your whole denture thing. I learned that the hard way 2 years after I started wearing dentures. We decided to take a Greyhound bus from Ohio to California, and I got on the bus and realized that I did not have a backup plan when it came to taking care of my dentures, because We just had public bathrooms. There were no bathrooms at any of the Greyhound stations that had family bathrooms. And all of the bathrooms just kind of had like trough sinks, and a lot of people were sharing those sinks. It was very awkward, and I did not think about that before I did a Greyhound bus trip across the country. I also, in 2013, I started wearing dentures in 2007, so it was 6 years, and took a bus tour from across Europe, from across the United Kingdom. And it was a little bit of a challenge because at the time my dentures did not fit well. And it was my other pair of dentures. They had just gotten to where I was needing to put adhesive on at least one time during the day, especially if I drank alcohol or if I talked a lot, which on a tour with a lot of people, you talk a lot. So I was doing a lot of mouth movements, drinking, and I ate quite a bit as well. So all of those things that people with temps would get when you have to really kind of modify what you do, because the more you eat, the more you talk. If you drink certain things, it might get underneath your dentures. That's where I was probably, oh gosh, I want to say, well, it was 10 years ago, and I've been wearing dentures for 6 years. Might have hit it about the 6-year mark, where my dentures weren't fitting quite as well, and I was having to reapply adhesive. I could not do that. Well, I did it. I figured it out on the bus, but at home, I would just go into the bathroom and put the adhesive on. But on the tour bus, I would take my dentures out, set them on my lap, and put new adhesive on my dentures, and then just kind of put them back in and go from there. But it was a little bit of a challenge because, you know, the bus is kind of bumpy, and you've got your dentures on your lap and everything like that. So there's also that to take into account. If you're traveling internationally and you have a really long flight, you might run into that because, and I have a flight coming up, I'm getting ready to go to Ireland in July, and I've already done all of the math. Like, I joke and say that I turn into Sheldon. If you watch The Big Bang Theory, I turn into Sheldon with the whole dry erase board, and I do these equations and figure out all of the things that I need to do. And when we booked our trip to go to Ireland, we have to leave our house at 1 p.m. to get to the airport. I think our flight, well, no, wait, sorry. We have to leave at 11 a.m. to get, they changed my flight. So I have to be at the airport by 1. Our flight leaves at 3. So I have to be at the airport by 1, which means I have to leave my house, I don't know, it's something like that. I'm trying to think here. I have to leave an hour before we have to be to the airport. We have to be to the airport 2 hours before our flight leaves. And we're not going to get there until the following day at what would be 10 a.m. my time. That means that I have to do my dentures right before we leave for the airport. Normally I would do them at night, right before I go to bed. And so I would put them in around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and then just go that whole amount of time, because my dentures stay in quite well with adhesive for 20, 22 hours. So I'd be fine, but because I have to leave early and I'm not gonna get there until 10 a.m. and we can't check in at the hotel until 2 p.m. So it's just, it's 2 p.m. Well, no, I think that's, the 2 p.m. is 10. It's a lot of time difference. I think the 2 p.m. is 10 a.m. our time. But because of that, I'm going to have to do my dentures right before we leave for the airport instead of right before I go to bed. But it's things, those little things that you have to think about when you're traveling with dentures. When am I going to leave? When am I going to get there? Am I going to be able to do all of the things that I need to do? Is there going to be running water if you camp, if you hike, or do all of those things? You have to stop and kind of assess what you need to do and what things that you need to do to still take care of your dentures, because things may shift when you travel. And like I said, one of the weirdest things that I focus on when I travel, when I go to hotels, is the bathroom sink. Is it big enough for me to at least be able to set my dentures on the counter? And I will pass on a small sink. So it's one of those little odd quirks. But I just thought I would go ahead and do this video because there are things that people who wear dentures have to think about that normally we wouldn't have to think about. Toothbrush, toothpaste, go, any sink, bottle of water, just, pour some water over the toothbrush and brush your teeth. If you can't, super easy. Not so easy when you wear dentures. So I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'll talk to you later. Hope this helps someone so that when you travel, you just kind of know that you have to kind of step back and assess what's going on. I'll talk to you later and have a good one. Bye.